Chaz and AJ in the morning, 99.1 PLR. Attorney Norm Pattis is here, and it's the day of Aaron Hernandez's funeral in Connecticut. And you spoke to him at what point during this whole ordeal?
Shortly after the first verdict, where he was convicted, friends of his reached out and said, hey, he wanted to meet, and I said, well, he's got a right, and I'm not going to go up there and just bang on his door.
So, what were you talking about? You were talking about you maybe representing him in an appeal.
You come to me and your world has turned to feces, and what you want me to tell you is everything will be fine. And it's just not my style. More often than not, things won't be fine, but you want to fight. And so the commitment that I can make to a person is if it's out there, I'll find it. If it's not, I won't. And so if you want a guarantee, go elsewhere. And I think Jose Baez offered guarantees. And you know what? To his credit, he delivered in that second trial.
So you go in there that second day. What's that like? You're in a room. Is it just you and him? Is there a guard in the room?
No
guard.
No, there was
because you have to have a private conversation. Is the conversation being recorded?
They say not, and, Massachusetts gave us privacy. There are prisons around the country where a guard stands there, and then you protest, and they give you a choice. We're either going to stand there or you leave. There are institutions where you have to speak on a telephone through a plexiglass window, and you wonder whether those are
recorded. Being recorded.
Yeah.
Now, the law is they can't use privileged communications, but you never know if they've recorded you, and they don't use it, but they know where to look for stuff they can use. So
right.
it's not an ideal circumstance.
So do you bring up the Patriots at all in the conversation?
No.
You can't even talk about that.
Yeah, I could have, but, I didn't want to look like a starstruck ninny,
Right.
And he had bigger fish to fry than the NFL.
Seriously,
Yeah.
It's like, focus,
but
Norm.
Is he handcuffed and shackled when you're in this room with him?
No.
He's not?
No.
And you're, like, across the table from him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People have speculated why he would kill himself after winning, right? Because now he's one more success away from being a free man. Right? Any thoughts on that?
Well, that's a really complicated question. There's a quirky legal doctrine in Massachusetts called abatement ab initio. In other words, we'll erase it from the beginning. So paradoxically, he has the potential to die an innocent man, notwithstanding having been convicted. In other words, under the abatement ab initio doctrine, his lawyers can ask that the prior conviction be erased as a matter of law because his appeal hadn't been heard. Now, if that's the case, he may or may not have contractual rights that are redeemable as to the Patriots. In other words, if there was a morals clause in the contract that said if you're convicted of a heinous felony, you're done. Well,
that's
guess
what people are saying.
I've died innocent.
He gets all that money that the Patriots held.